Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Remote Viewing Tournament for September 11th, 2020. We're gonna pick up where yesterday's cliffhanger ended and find out whether my prediction was correct. Now I apologize, some of you had said that the voice is a little bit low on the recording. Well, I'm in a basement dungeon trying not to be heard by my neighbors so that they aren't afraid of me for talking to myself. And the squeaking that you hear are the floorboards in our very old apartment building. But let's take a look at how we did. And it was the horse, the stupid horse. Oh, horse. It is clearly laughing at me. That is not the look of a horse that is sympathetic. It is a horse that is staring at me and telling me that I have no psychic powers. It's judging me for ever thinking that I would or could or should. But let's put that aside. We have 22 minutes to make another entry. I hope there's some judging available. Judging is wonderful. It's a great way to get a feeling for how other players are approaching the application. Again, I don't submit my own materials for judging, but I like to do it for others to keep a sense of excitement and involvement. Here's somebody's scribble. It might be a visual representation of something they had seen. I do not see, at first blush, any correspondence between their scribble and the two photo options. And this is what I'm going to put zero confidence in either image. Nothing is popping out at me as being related. Except maybe in the bottom, that Mandela-like sun image has so many different patterns in it. It's hard to say, but nothing is really identifiable. I'm going to judge it at 0, move on. Here we have impressions of reddish, orange, and then maybe some white. I'm not sure what the bottom says. And then what looks like a hilly horizon and a straight line. The top photograph is of a city skyline. I think that's New York City. And the color of the windows and the sky has a yellow-orange tint to it. It's a boxier than the sort of hilly outline that the player submitted. But there's also what looks like a river or lake nearby. The bottom picture, unfortunately, is a branch with some foliage and 2 cherries and a stem. There's not as much of a reddish color, or there's not as much of an orange color, but there is red because of the cherries. And unfortunately, although the scale is totally different, the perspective is very similar in both photographs. Although one is a cityscape and one is cherries on a branch, they're both almost exactly the same perspective with a flat plane. But I would say that the hilly kind of line that the person drew is a better match for the busier skyline than it is for the cherries. And there is a lot of orange, if not so much red. Let me turn up my brightness. There's a lot of orange in the top picture, if not so much red. The difficulty with images like these is that they're so similar in perspective that it's it's possible, or it's thought to be possible, that somebody might blend both images in their awareness and come up with kind of an amalgam of impressions of two of them. This is perhaps the most confusing part about playing this game, and it makes it hard for me to decide, but because the shape of the hilly skyline is busier and has more elements to it, and because of the perspective of maybe the river, I'm going to go with the top image. I just can't be that confident. I'm going to give it a 30%. Here he says, outside and inside, red, green, blue, question mark, weird overlap like art, and there's some wavy lines that remind me of either lines drawn in the dirt or hilly ground or wavy water or swirls. The top picture is of, I believe, Eiffel Tower in Paris. The bottom picture is a scowling cat. There's no red, green, blue in the bottom picture. There's a little bit of a bluish tint. There's not really any red that I see or green in the top, just a small amount of like a brownish green or orange. I don't see that weird overlap like art. I don't see an element of inside. Both look to be exterior pictures, although in the background of the cat there might be a house or an open door. It's hard to say. However, the kind of swirly, wavy lines at the bottom are a little bit reminiscent of the striping on the cat. I'm going to go with the bottom image and a 20% confidence, which is generous perhaps. I have a drawing of what looks like a comb and scissors and maybe a chair. This is a very literal drawing. And I don't see anything like it. The top is of an old stony church, and the bottom is a man cleaning a museum exhibit of a buffalo. Now, if I go beyond the literal and into conceptual, scissors and a comb are kinds of implements that are used for grooming, and the man is seeming to be vacuuming or cleaning the exhibit somehow. So he has implements that are also meant to put something into a tidy order. I'm going to go with the bottom image with a 10% confidence. Here's a picture that's also rather literal, but it looks like a fenced-off area with a building in the foreground, something on top, which could be maybe the stem of a weather vane or hold up a cross for a church. There's a circle in the background that's probably a sun in the sky, a little drawing of what's most likely a person, and then some wavy lines which could be water or ground. And the options are either a snail or a kind of an outdoor pagoda-like structure. I'm going to go with the top image with a 40% confidence because there is a structure like a building. No, maybe 50%. It really aligns much more with the overall aesthetic of the user-submitted image, even though there's no person in the picture at the time and no visible fence at the time. Maybe a little bit of something that looks fence-like. We'll go 50%. Here we have a writing that says, not black but mostly dark like at sunset. There are two central lines that could maybe be the outline of a road and two chaotic areas on either side that may be trees or foliage. It's hard to say, but these two lines are relatively straight and are splitting the more chaotic areas. And there's either a cat on a stone ridge, maybe a wall with a very gray background, the cat's white, or at the top, a bridge over water with some people looking like tourists. The bridge and buildings nearby look old, several hundred years old perhaps, made of stone. There's some trees and foliage. Because of the outdoor, because of the lines splitting two separate areas, because of the impression that might be like foliage, and the person saying dark like at sunset. Well, it's definitely not dark, it's bright and sunny, but at least that implies an outdoor image. I'm going to go with the top image. I'm going to give it a confidence of 40%. I think that's enough judging for now. Judging really gives you a taste for the issues that people deal with. It is kind of becoming increasingly rare to find really great hits. I used to do a ton of judging in the app, but I recommend giving it a try. You can do judging after you have submitted, I believe, 10 of your own sessions. And so now I've given myself only 10 minutes to get a session done. So, with remote viewing, you can declare your inclemencies, and sometimes that helps you to put them aside. It's thought that by objectifying them and committing them to paper or maybe to your screen, you are able to separate them from your consciousness and ignore them. I'm not sure how true this is, but you know what? I'm really tired from dealing with that. And ill member today. Let's get that out of the way. And maybe I'll have a better shot of performing well. So, let's try 7558138. The motion I had was down, diagonal, halting motion, zigzaggy, back and forth, cross, down. That zigzaggy back and forth motion was kind of felt throughout. Feeling sensation of motion. Now, I am not using any specific technique. This is not real controlled remote viewing. This is just something that I do for remote viewing tournament. 7558138. It's almost a repeat of the top ideogram, and that's probably because I didn't get a strong sense of gestalt or what it really is. But that same zigzaggy back and forth, I get a feeling of hard, intricate. I'll try to take the coordinates one more time here. 7558138. I'm going to say it had a similar feeling, but also a feeling of kind of around. Something went around something else or created a structure with interior space. And put on AOL of a house or box. AOL means analytical overlay. It's when you suspect that your mind is creating a story and putting together your impressions in a way that may not be correct. So by writing it down, you are also objectifying it and trying to get out of your consciousness. But I'm done with this session for now. I'm not going to put any more time and effort for it. Let's just see what's going on and take our licks here. Top option is a description of a blue helicopter. It faces above and to the left of the viewer. It is in flight, but the blades appear. Dark blue, light blue. I didn't really get any colors. A pilot in blue shirt, clear blue sky. At the bottom, a woman rides a bicycle down a gray concrete path. There's a leash with a dog who's walking behind her. There's vegetation. There's a white pole and several tree trunks. And a bunch of other people. It's a really kind of busy scene. Looks like people running, exercising, walking, out by foliage and vegetation. If I was going to choose one of these, the sense of the zigzaggy and the motion that I had, and then later a structure with an interior space, these things I think align better with a helicopter. And though I said I like to commit all the way, I'm just going to give it a 50% confidence and go with helicopter. So that's it for today. Thanks for playing along with me. Looking forward to hear what you think of this new series, whether it's something worth continuing, whether I really am painfully quiet, whether it's boring, or whether you enjoy getting a glimpse at my process. Take care, and we'll catch you next time.